Turkent. Okay. Did you hear that?
Yes,
Okay, but I'm not
right.
sure if it now also records the video. Do you know?
I think this video should be recorded right now. Um, and we're not sure yet if that also happens when we share our screen, but
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see. But
It's our
for
first time, so
yeah,
enjoy.
yes, for now it should be
We
good.
already made kind of bullet points for the program we're gonna interact with.
Yes, yeah,
Right? So we start with the introduction and yeah, our former experience and the script and the thesis we did before with the bachelor
yeah,
to just kind of
yeah,
getting
yes,
know each other because we didn't know each other
exactly.
before. Then
A little
know.
side note for the teacher is that this is also our first time working together. So we
Exactly.
thought we don't even know from each other what we studied previously.
Hmm.
So that
Very
is
interesting, of
good.
course. You can understand that as good peers, you have to really get to know each other.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I
Also,
think it's good for me to start. Yeah, why not? Okay, so I'm Benjamin. I did my bachelor bedrijfskunde, so that is business
business.
administration at the VU.
Yeah.
My thesis was about digital marketing, and then specifically the influence of personalization on the click-through rate of digital marketing campaigns. So really specific in the marketing
Okay.
branch because I work
Okay.
at a marketing agency, so that's why I choose that one. I have to admit that I find it kind of hard, the thesis. So I hope this time with you as a peer and with the teacher, etc., we were gonna make a beautiful thesis. But I will,
Yes.
I'm sure we will. Yeah, and then that's it for now. Later on, we will show each other the pre-challenge we already made for the first
Yeah.
assignment. So if you do a quick introduction, I think we can go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and one more question: what kind of thesis did you do?
Oh yeah, that's a good
For
one.
your bachelor, did
What's
you do like
Yeah, yeah.
qualitative, quantitative?
It was a qualitative, is that right? No, it was a quantitative research. So with the
Okay.
enquete and RStudio, which is not my favorite,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
we just had to. And yeah, that's all, I guess. So
Okay. And
well,
what were your findings? Did you have like a final
yeah, the point is that my
conclusion?
findings were already kind of I sort of already expected the findings to be the same. I mean, it was that the effect of personalization had an influence on the click-through rate, but actually that kind of speaks for itself. And there already was a lot of rich literature that's kind of showed
Mhm.
that. But now it was more in a specific context for certain campaigns. So it was
Okay. So
actually it
you're
wasn't that exciting and it wasn't nothing new. So that's why this year I want to do something crazy, rocket science, so we
yeah.
can share it with everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's nice that this year we have, for example, this subject, and we have a lot of different workshops that help
Exactly.
us
Yeah.
get through our thesis. And I
Mm,
think we have more guidance during our masters than I personally had in my
yeah.
bachelor.
Mm.
So yeah, that's nice. And you mentioned that you worked at the marketing
Yeah,
agency
marketing
back then?
agency. So it's a digital marketing agency. So I ran campaigns for just all kinds of companies on
Okay,
Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, but also Google, Snapchat, etc. So that's kind of
okay, okay.
interesting.
And
But
and
that's
did you
why I
do
did it.
your
Sorry?
yeah? Did you do like your thesis at
Oh,
the
no, no,
company you
no.
worked at?
No, not at the company, but I took some prior experience with me.
Experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
didn't do it internally.
It inspired you to do the
Exactly.
thesis about that.
My whole way of thinking was completely changed, of course. So
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
did that.
And did you do some kind of did you have like tracks at the bedrijfskunde? You mentioned you did the bedrijfskunde. Was it
Mhm.
like with different tracks like finance or digital, something like that? Or
No, it was just it was just 10 courses a year. And
Okay.
I did, it took me 4 years instead of three because,
Okay.
yeah, I thought it was, I'm only 22 right now, so I wasn't really in a hurry.
Oh,
So,
you're still only 22.
yeah, so I thought,
Oh, wow.
relax a bit and
Yeah,
be
for
four
sure.
years, but that was fine. And now my master's, and I want to finish it this year. So,
Yeah.
I think it's your turn to tell me everything
Yes.
about you. Where are you
Mm,
from? What
sure.
about your thesis? Are you good at it? Can you help me? Etc.
Yeah, I first of all, I hope so. Now, my name is Jonathan. I studied international business in Groningen.
Mm.
So that's kind of similar to bedrijfskunde. Actually, it's also business, and
Mm.
I think it was a bit more focused on like the international aspects, also like difference in cultures, and yeah, we had subjects about organizational culture and also how your the country that you come from also has consequences for how you work in a firm, for example, and
Mm.
yeah, you have these different dimensions, and it was elaborated a lot in our study. And
Mm.
I also did 4 years in Groningen.
Yeah.
And what was also nice is that we also had half year mandatory abroad.
Okay.
And so I went to South Africa to Stellenbosch University and
Okay.
did a
Well.
minor there, and it was also a really nice experience to also like see it for yourself how students in different countries and if even in a different continent
Mm.
work, and met a lot of international students there. So
Mm.
something I can really recommend to
Yeah.
everyone.
Mm.
And so I did that, and then after that, I came back to Groningen.
Yeah.
I did a minor finance additional because I was
Yeah.
also quite young,
Mm.
and I didn't want to leave Groningen because I liked it really much there. And so I did a half year extra minor finance,
Yeah.
and then I did my thesis, and I did it about corporate social responsibility.
Okay.
And I had a qualitative, and I did a case study about there's this Dutch CEO, former CEO of Unilever.
Mm.
His name is Paul Polman, and it was yeah, quite an interesting story. And there was also a book written about it by Jeroen Smit, who
Mm.
also wrote The Prey about ABN and AMRO joining
Okay.
together.
Okay. Yeah.
And he also wrote a different book about Paul Polman,
Mm.
the former CEO of Unilever. And what he tried to do was to make the practices within the company of Unilever more socially corporate responsible.
Mm.
So to make it more sustainable. And he tried to do that, but he failed, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
he was kind of fired by the stakeholders.
Mm.
And I did a case study about that, and a literature review what like the essentials of a firm are basically. And
Yeah.
it was kind of in a contrast with what he tried to achieve. And so I did that, and that was interesting. Also did an interview with the writer of the book,
Mm.
and so also learned a lot from that.
Yes.
And now started with the thesis just before the holidays.
Mm.
So
Sounds good.
yeah,
So
that
you're a thesis professional.
I'm a thesis professional.
Okay, well, that is good for the
So
listeners to
yeah,
know.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
the master's thesis. So that's why, like, I kind of liked the concept of a literature review.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do that again, but
Yeah.
I asked it to my supervisor, and she said, I asked if it was mandatory or not, and she said, well, let me put it this way, it's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended to also do something beside that. So also go to companies and do surveys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the master thesis is like a bit of a higher level than what
Yes.
maybe we're both did before.
Yeah, for sure,
So
for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that will
So
be exciting.
yes, man.
Exciting
So
times ahead. Yeah,
yeah, man,
well, I
and
think enough about ourselves.
yeah,
We on the program we have the second point, or the even the third already, and that's our areas to explore. We wrote down, right? Or am I
yeah, but first,
skipping
but
something?
yeah, yeah, I think you're skipping something because we still don't know from each other what we want to investigate, and it's
Oh, that's
we only
pretty
know that
important, I think.
yes, we only
Do
have
you now see my, if I now slide my screen, can you see something? Or do you still only see me in the Zoom? I mean, I'm not sharing my screen, right?
no, you're not sharing your screen at the moment.
Okay, but is that something we should do?
Yeah, if you want to, I don't know if it's necessary yet.
Yeah, maybe later on, because otherwise you already see my whole pre-challenge, but that's only for the
Yeah,
next part.
we
We
don't want to spoil it for later.
no, no, no. We keep it secret for now. But it actually is a good question because what I'm investigating, and I will directly go to my research question, which is what is the impact of generative AI on the formulation and execution of corporate strategies in creative industries? So I can
Okay.
break it up in smaller parts. First of all, we are mainly peers because we both had Gen AI as our interest, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. And then, so my question is, what is the impact of Gen AI on the formulation and execution of corporate strategies? So companies that make a strategy, how do they formulate? How do they formulate them, and how do they execute them? With now the whole rise of Gen AI, because you can imagine that that is majorly changed, and then
Sure.
especially in the creative industries. So I already told you that I work at a marketing agency, which of course is
Hmm.
like a creative company in the sense of you make a lot of copies, you can generate pictures, all kind of aspects that are now way more easily to do with Gen AI, because I can now in even OpenAI, for example, I can just ask them, yo, write down 20 kind of copies for this picture for this company with this tone of voice, etc.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's something I find very interesting. And then I want to first of all deep dive in Gen AI itself, then go to the execution and formulation of corporate strategies, and then at the end make the combination to the creative industry.
yeah.
So that is,
And so, okay,
and then I
interesting.
just sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay, and then so I want to do have you say it right? Yeah, so qualitative, so that's with interviews, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at at my bachelor, you had to do the quantitative, but I'm
Okay.
not really the R studio type of guy. So I hope I can skip that this time. But I'm still in contact with the supervisor, or I
Yeah.
have still to he has to tell me some tips and tricks for how
Yeah.
I can do this the best. So for now, this is my plan. But
Yeah.
as we already mentioned, we can change later on.
Yeah. Now that makes two of us because I'm also not the quantitative type of guy.
Mhm.
And to rest assure you, I think we don't have to do something like that. You can choose for yourself whether you want to do it qualitative or quantitative.
Yeah.
But that's maybe the first thing we can learn from each other. I can tell you that. Um, so I told you before, I think, in introduction, but I think we're kind of expected to like if you do a qualitative, you can't just do like a literature review, but you
Mhm.
have to um,
You have to do interviews.
do yeah, you have to do interviews, and
Yeah.
it's also expected. like someone in my group asked like how many are we expected to do,
Yeah.
and they said it's around like 13 different
Oh,
interviews that you need to do. So that's
okay.
also something to consider in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so do you have like plans on how you are trying to do that already, or
Yeah,
what like
well,
companies
sure.
you
I
want
can
to
just at my own company,
approach?
I can interview everybody I want. And we work too. So I work at the digital marketing agency, which of course is
Yeah.
it's in the creative industry, but as we kind of collaborate with an website developer. We're
Okay.
actually in the same building, which also, of course, is a very creative industry because every website is personalized to the demands of the customer. So
Yeah.
also
Okay.
there I can like interview the CEO or some
So
employee, just any
so you
employee.
have
So I
okay.
think
So you
I
have
already have like 4, 5, 6, 7 people to interview, and then maybe
okay.
to make it
That's
a bit
good.
broader, we can go kind of out of the box to something a whole different.
Yeah. 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 No, I think it's a good topic, and also
Yeah,
nice to
you're
hear that
right.
you have some valuable connections that you can
Hmm.
approach already, because that can also be a problem,
Yeah.
of course, that you
Hmm.
can find people that are willing to do the interviews with you,
Hmm.
and it's also nice that like I think everyone in our age group and a bit higher has
Hmm.
heard of ChatGPT and now also has used it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it was like the fastest growing new invention ever. That like in the
Hmm.
first year, what was it, like 100 million new people used it. So it's
Hmm.
very a hot topic,
Yeah.
and also that's also why it's interesting, because there's not a lot of research conducted yet
Hmm.
about Gen AI, and it's also nice to like us as digital business students to be a part in that. I
Yeah.
think, and that's also uh, why I wanted to do it also with Gen AI. And
Hmm.
at first, I was not sure yet what exactly I wanted to do it about.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to do something uh, regarding the ethical dilemmas that can arise when companies just use Gen AI or AI agents to do the
Hmm.
work for them. So
Yeah.
I was kind of in that, looking in that area,
Hmm.
and then so it turned out you needed to do a lot of surveys for that.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking kind of creatively and switched to from companies to students.
Okay.
So how do students react to or like change their methods of working when using Gen AI,
Okay.
or how do like universities and teachers um, switch their ways of working with the development of this new technology.
Hmm.
Um, so it's either one of those two, and yeah,
Okay.
we're still in the beginning of our thesis, so I'm also not 100% sure
Yeah.
yet what
Hmm.
exactly I'm going to investigate. And yeah, it's nice to do this kind of exercises
Hmm.
to think about it and talk to a peer about it with. And
Yes.
yes. So
Yeah,
that
sounds
basically.
very interesting. So that will be a good topic. I think, as you already mentioned, maybe next week we have made some twists and some specifications. Also,
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know about you, but also prior research, I have to more dive into that because what is already done and how can where's the gap that I can specifically jump into? Because of course
Yeah,
we don't want to do something that somebody else already did. And with my bachelor, it was kind of what I did, but then a little twist. But now I want to be a little bit more original, so that's what we're going for. But
Sounds good.
well, now we know our topics, and we are both very interested in Gen AI, so that's also good. That's why we are
Yeah,
peers. That's good.
exactly. We found each other.
That's
In
yeah,
that.
exactly. So are we now going to the areas to explore, or am I still?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's quite clear what we have right now, and that we're still
Mhm.
investigating and orientating on what and how. And yeah, so we both yeah,
Yes.
investigated or came up with the different areas that we can explore further, like literature for us to look into more. Like, do you want to
Yeah,
let's start
maybe.
with yours?
Yeah, or maybe you can try to share your screen, and we will see what the recording does, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, I hope it doesn't turn off. I can't imagine, because otherwise it wouldn't be a good feature.
Yeah.
I think I should be possible to record to make a record of your screen
Okay.
recording, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, one sec.
I just made some bullet points.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Okay.
did it. So
I
it's not too elaborated. It's just small bullet points with some
yeah.
interesting
I
points.
I also have this. I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Uh, yes, I can. I can.
Okay, perfect. So I came up with yeah, the areas to explore basically. Like, what are the main, yeah, areas slash subjects.
You can dive
Um,
into.
Yeah, exactly. What are like the foundations? Where can you start your research?
Mhm.
And so the first one being the educational technology and AI.
Yes.
And I wrote a little extra explanation here, like the focus on the role of Gen AI in education,
Mhm.
including adaptive learning, AI-driven tools, and the impact on these technologies and learning outcomes. Because, yeah, what we all experience in the last years with the come of Gen AI, the way that people work on assignments change, the way that people write essays, they use it as a tool, and yeah, it's just there now. And
Mhm.
like the question now is, how is the education going to respond to this?
Mhm.
Because it, it is there. Are you going to forbid it, students? Are you going to change the way that um, you assess your students? For
Mhm.
example, I think one example in our course was that we needed to make an essay for a subject in the last period. I don't remember the name what it was again, but um, I found out that before it used to be a take-home essay,
Yeah. Oh, the WODA course.
but now
Hello, hello, hello. Are you still there?
yeah,
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
that basically, and also how the motivation of AI tools and how they engage with the learning material, how AI tools affect
Oh no. Hey, hoor je me nog? Do you still hear me? Hello, hello. Yo.
Yeah.
Okay, no,
Okay.
yeah,
Go,
nothing.
go,
No major problems here. You still were at the areas to discover?
yeah. Is my screen still sharing?
No, it's not. It isn't. The first one was clear, but the second and third went really quick
Okay.
because it kind of
Okay.
lagged and then it went all out in the same
Okay.
time.
No worries. And it's still recording?
It is still recording, it says. So that will
Yeah,
be
perfect.
very that will be
Okay.
special.
Yeah, and then I was going over the second and the third, like how do the Gen AI tools change the motivation of students and the engagement with materials?
Mm.
Do they engage less with the lectures, for example, if they can just make a summary with ChatGPT, and
Mhm.
then the psychology, like what do we want from students, how do they react to stuff,
Okay.
that basically. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
that sounds good. I think enough of a lot to discover and look into
yeah.
with other papers. Is it now better
Yes.
to directly go into Google Scholar with these points, or do you think first I'll do mine and then later on we will?
Yeah, maybe you can go over yours real quick, and maybe we have some commonalities.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
That would be nice. Yeah,
Yeah, let me check how to.
exactly.
Let me
Right.
let me check how to share. Document desktop one share. Allow Zoom Workplace to share your screen. Open the system. Wait, my settings. This is my computer, so. Oh. Layouts and options. Share. Open system settings. Privacy. Security. Okay, here. Zoom. Here. On. Password. Anyway, this is not good. It says that Zoom may be closed the moment I want to share because I had to. Okay, wait here. Can you see these dolphins?
Let me see. Something is loading. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because this isn't my computer, but I will find my way. Okay, here's my pre-challenge, but we will
Cool.
go into that later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are some. I just made some very
Good
broad
points.
points and just a small bullet points underneath to go into Google Scholar. So first
Yeah.
of all, important. Here you can see my research question, by the way. So of course, important area to explore is the strategic management perspective because my whole research is about how corporate strategies are formed and executed. So the strategic management is a really important point you can imagine. So
Yeah.
first of all, about strategy formulation, strategy execution, how it works, what the influences of AI, etc., etc. Then we have the creativity and innovation management. Yeah, so this is actually something I still want to discuss with the what's how do you call it, the mentor kind of for my thesis.
Advisor. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a what exactly is like a creative industry. That's something to really it has to be really specific because otherwise it is way too broad because drawing is of
Yeah.
course also creative, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not in my
Yeah. Yeah.
interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have to check all the things over there. Then, of course, technology and organizational behavior. So that's just the use of AI and how companies use AI and the benefits and the decision making, employee roles, all kind of that. Then this is the marketing consumer engagement. So um, this is more about the creative industry itself. So how has AI influences on the strategy making, the role in personalization campaigns, generating content, making copies, etc. How does it work right now? How was it before the rise of AI, and how is it now afterwards? Now you can imagine really important, of course. And then last but not least, I think you also mentioned it. I mean, the ethical, legal, social implication. It actually is a course we have right now, and of course, it's a really big thing with AI and all technical things. I mean, we had like the Apple case with or yesterday in the news was like the Siri that it recorded a lot of people, and it was a
Yeah,
big ethical question. So you can imagine that AI as well, as you already mentioned, is yeah. I mean, the ethical point is a really big thing because how can you use it? Is it ethical? What can you do? What
yeah,
can't you do? So
yeah. So the data, of course, that is stored,
exactly, regulation
what is
that goes
done
with
with
it.
it.
Yeah, what can you do? What can't you do?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think enough to discover.
Yes, 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 yes.
And if I'm right, so this one is very. I mean, how do you say that? You also had the ethical points, right?
Mhm.
Then of course, like the technology itself is something we have in
Yeah,
both have. And then, yeah, it was you did it more about students, right? So that isn't really a
yeah,
strategic management perspective, but you also said maybe universities or teachers how they explain it to the students of how do they let students use AI. So then that might be a strategic management perspective of like a university or primary school, etc.
yeah, yeah. You could see it as an institution as well. I think it's also sort of an organization, obviously not to make profit like firms, but it's also it could
Mm.
be seen as an institution. So I agree on that.
Yeah, and so this is more about the technology itself, so Gen AI, which you of course have, but this is also interesting at your thesis because this is about the role of how you use it, how generative AI collaborates with
Yeah,
competes against human creativity. Yeah. So how do you use it? How do students use it in your case? How do they make assignments with Gen AI? How did they before? What is the difference? What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? Etc.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think
Okay.
a lot
Yeah,
uh, in common.
yeah, 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 yeah. And do you yeah, see something right now that we can maybe use to like do a first study search? Do you have
Yeah,
like ideas on that?
you mean for
That
the Google Scholar thing already?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because we also have to like think of the time. Does it have a time on how long this recording is now?
No, it doesn't, but I think we started 30, 40 minutes ago.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay, so yeah,
we have to get some pace. We also
yeah,
have
exactly.
I think the Newton part at the end is important. So maybe we can
Yeah,
kind of increase the Google Scholar part, or maybe more zoom into that the next
yeah, yeah. When we also might have a little bit more
exactly
clarity on
because
what
yeah.
exactly we
We
want to
already mentioned that
investigate.
we did not a lot of prior research. So
Yeah,
maybe if we now directly go to each other's pre-challenge
yeah,
we had with the
yeah,
assignment,
yeah,
then
yeah,
we know each other's
yeah,
research better, and then next week we can this weekend we will do hard research on
yeah,
all the prior research,
exactly. And
and
we
then
also have to both have a meeting with our supervisor and have to get the green light. And I think after that we can do
Yes.
like research when we know if it's okay or not.
Mm.
So yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, and do you want to do something about the Gen AI tools right now?
Yeah, so I was not
No.
really sure what I can go to the assignment. Um, yeah, so is this this is the Gen AI part. You see my screen? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
You
not
might be.
really sure what they meant with it. I mean, do they want me to just discuss something with ChatGPT, for example, or what is the point here?
Um, it says it's fully optional, but
Yeah. So
maybe
first of all, we don't have to.
we can have a little brainstorm maybe on um, let me see how to like tackle our research. I just okay. Let's maybe just like do that real quick. Um, I can share my screen,
Okay, I will stop sharing.
and this is just a little bit of a brainstorm to. I can show you how I use ChatGPT. Everyone
Hmm.
uses it differently, and maybe it also comes up with some creative ideas.
Hmm.
Okay, so do you see my screen right now?
Yeah, it's loading. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so this is my uh, research question at the moment.
Yes.
So still not entirely sure yet if this is going to be the final one or not. So yeah, I'll just copy and paste that in the prompt. What are the challenges that come? Okay, so what I would write right now is um, writing my thesis, and this is my research question. Um, okay, come up with a plan how to do it. It's a
Hmm.
very broad question.
Very broad question. I'm curious what
Yeah, and I'm curious what our friend is going to say. Here,
to
it's up with the thesis plan already. Literature review, obviously.
so
Yeah.
it is already doing everything.
I don't need to write anymore myself.
Wow, looks like a good thesis. Four key focus areas, skill development.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, this looks pretty good actually. Educator challenges, technical accessibility issues, policy
yeah.
regulation.
Yeah, for example, this is something that I also came up with myself.
Mm.
And what's also very interesting to me, how the educators like deal with a tool like this, which has major impact on how students do their assignments and everything.
Mm.
And so let me see, the survey, future research question. Okay. So you
Or
can
maybe you can
define it
ask, yeah, okay, so
further.
I get the feeling, but maybe you can ask something like, can you come up with certain subjects that might be for interest in my thesis? Maybe it gives us some things that you didn't think of before,
Um,
right? I mean, our
yeah,
is
yeah.
such a smart guy, so maybe he has some crazy things in mind.
To make it more practical. That's also something that I like to
Mm.
get it a little bit hands-on.
Really
Let's
important.
get started. Okay.
Okay, academic integrity, gray areas of more honesty, policy development, skill development is of course a big thing because are you still learning if you're only using AI?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the whole point of education, of course,
Mm.
to learn and develop yourself. And maybe with
Yeah, what
the
is
ChatGPT,
education if you're not learning, right?
exactly. Okay.
So these are just
Um,
some things to take in mind. I don't think we have to go too deep into
yeah,
this.
yeah.
We can do this in our spare time and discuss.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So maybe.
And maybe,
Sorry.
um, yeah, what I'm thinking, yeah, because it's like quite explicitly mentioned that we need to do the Google Scholar. Let's maybe look up one thing together
Okay.
that I
And so then,
think
let's
super,
just pick
super
the
likely.
AI.
Oh,
I say let's just pick the AI subject because that's the main subject we both
yeah.
have. And then we
Okay.
can just, we already mentioned we didn't do a lot of prior research. So maybe what if you just look for your research question on Google Scholar or a similar one and look
Oh, yeah.
what, right? And then I will do the same and we can compare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe if you start, I think
I'm wondering if it is going to give some results if you just put in a research question. Do you think? Because I don't use Google Scholar that much, to be honest.
I also don't, but I think if you just fill in your research question, it comes up with some kind
Yeah.
of similarities with the one you have.
Okay.
You can also just
Okay.
do a couple of words like Gen AI in
Yeah.
education students.
Yeah. Exactly. See what others are writing about. Okay. First, maybe just the research question. If this doesn't give anything, we
But
can.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see my screen anymore?
I still see the or is it my, no, yeah, I still see the peer discussion. So you have to share the other tablet, I guess,
Okay, right.
or something like that. I'm not
Um,
really good with.
okay, let's just do it again. Entire screen. Okay. So, do you see it right now?
Yeah, it's loading. Mm, still loading. Jonathan has started screen sharing, but it's still black.
Okay, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Everything black.
Okay. Maybe I can send my research question in the chat.
Yeah, and then I can look it up or something like that.
Okay. I
Didn't
have
work?
Wi-Fi issues, but I'm back, so it should be good. Yeah, what I was saying is,
He's gone again. Hello.
okay, another try. I think this
Third
happens when,
time is good luck, right?
yeah, third time is the charm. Okay, yeah, maybe you can just go on Google Scholar and
Okay, yeah.
write about yours, because
Check.
we also
Share
uh,
screen, Google
not a lot of
Scholar.
time anymore.
Okay,
Let's
can you
go
see
over
it?
that. Yeah.
You can, right? Wait, no, I can't. Here it is. No. Here it is. No. Where is my here? Okay, so I'll just copy paste my research question
Yeah.
in Google Scholar. It will be very bad. Okay, so look.
Ah,
Between creatives and coders, identify potentials of generative art. No, it's too specific. Okay, wait. Of generative art in the creative processes of marketing agencies. Okay, well, that is interesting. It's not exactly the same, but it is specific on the marketing agencies. It is
yeah. And
creative coders.
also, you're probably also going to mention in your thesis what the motivators are for companies to use
Mhm.
Gen
Yeah.
AI. So
Mhm.
I think you have a subject that has a lot of literature
Yeah,
online.
right. Here, a
Uh,
whole book, Artificial Intelligence for Business Creativity.
yeah.
Make AI creativity, unraveling the impact of generative artificial intelligence in industrial applications, review of scientific and great literature. AI at
Okay,
play.
so now at least, yeah, maybe we can go to the Newton test real quick because we have a little bit of time issues.
Okay.
But at least
Okay.
a little sneak peek on how many results there are already, and that
Yeah.
there's a lot
Okay.
of
So I'll
online.
show you. I agree. I agree. I will show you just this is my prior what is called my pre-challenge for week
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
If you can
Okay,
just
sorry.
read it.
1 second. I have a knock on my door. Let
Yeah.
me open that real quick.
Oh, who's there? Knock knock. Who's there?
Okay, that was my sister, but I'm back. Let's go over it real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think I can ask you the questions, and you can tell what you came up with. And we just used the guiding question that stood in the explanation.
Yeah. So.
Um,
Yeah.
First one was like what your apple was.
Yeah, so my apple, the phenomenon that you want to explain is behavior change states. So the phenomenon is how generative AI impacts the way corporate strategies are created and carried out in creative industries. So as we already mentioned, and
Yeah,
then it's that I want to understand its effect on the decision making, creativity, and strategy execution. So that's
right.
already something we are really clear about, or I am really clear.
Yeah. So that's kind of the basis of what you want to
Exactly. Like
investigate.
the main part,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's clear for me now. As already mentioned, maybe we will like tweak it a little bit, but for now, that's what it is.
yeah.
Then
Okay. Now, yeah, I can maybe just go over mine. We can go through these separately
yeah.
to get to like the fundamentals of both of our
Mhm.
researches. And yeah, mine is very basically just ChatGPT so far, Gen AI, and now uh, it are educative institutions.
Mhm.
So that's it, real quick.
Okay, then what is
And
your
the
gravity law?
second, uh, sorry.
What is your gravity law then? The second question.
Yeah, that is the. Let me see. And then the explanation is the explanation that are given for such a phenomenon. And what I wrote down was that the explanation for this is that the tools provide personalized learning experience that adapt individual student needs, and that improving the academic outcomes through tailored content, basically.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yours?
Yeah, for me, it was that so the theoretical explanation that are given for such a phenomenon? Well, for me, it was that organizations gain an advantage by using valuable resources like GenAI
Yeah,
to enhance processes such as the creativity, efficiency, and strategic decision making.
yeah,
So, as we already mentioned, for like example, making content, but also copies, web pages, all you can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Gen AI is a
Yeah.
big thing, and the question is how does it influence it?
Yeah. That's very clear because it just provides the advantages to the users.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the underlying reason that people are using it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's clear indeed. Okay, and then the third we have after that we have two more to go. Um, what the gravity field is, in which like condition or context is the explanation expected to be valid?
Yeah.
What did you? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I was not really sure how to answer this one. First of all, it was so the question is indeed the conditions or context in which the explanation is expected to be valid. Well, of course, as already mentioned plenty of times, it is in the creative industries, so that's the context. And then especially, I mean, at least I want to focus on the digital marketing sites and similar fields.
Yeah,
So all in all creative industries, and then so digital marketing as my preference.
yeah,
And then so it's important that the creativity and innovation is key. I mean that's where Gen AI is a big aspect. And then it may be interesting to see where AI tools are being adopted but are not fully understood. So people are using the AI tools. For example, me at my own company or at the company I work, I can use it, but the question is, what is the difference in using it and in using it not? You know what I'm saying or not?
yeah. Beautifully said,
Beautifully
Benjamin.
said. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like first you couldn't use these tools. Now you can. What's the difference? How does it work? And focuses
yeah,
on creative industries. That's
yeah.
it.
No, well explained. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
the
you.
context that what it's basically about with me is the context of education, students using it, as
Mhm.
well as how do the educators, universities, institutions, even in high schools, students are using it. How do they react to it? I think that's the context, still the whole educational sphere. So
Mhm.
that's also quite clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and for me, I think that for so the gravity field, the conditions and context, I think that an important thing to say is that so these concerns about ethics that we already spoke about, that is something to keep in mind because when can you use it? When can't you use it? The originality is of course very important in these creative industries because yeah, well. Is it ethical to use or not? For example, with copies, content, etc. So
yeah,
that are some contexts that are important to keep in mind.
and also areas that we can consider to include in our thesis or not. And
Mm,
if enough room about that to not make it too broad, that's also obviously the question because you
yeah.
want it specific and you only have a
Mhm.
limited amount of resources that you can use for your research. So you have
Mhm.
to think about that. What are the most significant?
Okay, and then
So,
what is different here for you?
yeah, and what's different is the long-term impact of these tools on student engagement and
Mm,
performance of students. This is not yet fully understood, and this includes challenges like, for example, the over reliance of AI. You know, if students always use AI to write things and do assignments,
mhm.
can they do they lose the ability to do it
Yeah.
if they never do it themselves anymore? And that's also something that educators try to react upon
Mhm.
by the example we gave before to not do take home essays anymore, but you have to make them in person on a physical location. That's something. And then what we just discussed as well, the ethical consideration and obviously the potential biases. They're always a danger.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yours?
For me, what is different here? Yeah, so as already mentioned too many times, it's now not in just normal business context, but it has to be highly creative, but also fast-paced environments. So companies that are really likely to adopt all these new technologies and trying to play with it and look how it works, and yeah, just fast-paced environments. And also important is the strategic impact. So I'm exploring how AI affects not just creativity, but also the entire strategic process. So not, okay, is now the content or copy really creative, but I also want to focus on the whole process of creating a strategy, for example, for a for a certain client.
Yeah.
So that's something really important and
Yeah.
not really deeply studied yet, as I've seen.
Yeah. 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 Okay. And I think
At last.
yeah, the last question, maybe we can skip it because we only have, I think, a few minutes left. We had to share one thing together. And I think we forgot that before. What was it again? The pre-challenge. Did you already read it?
No, I didn't read yours. I showed you mine. That was the
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
You already.
Yeah, we can just go over my pre-challenge and
So if you just show yours real quick, I think we
then
did a
it
great
should
job.
be okay. Let me share my screen. Hopefully, it works this time.
Mhm.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Um, yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Then let's go over it real quick, and then we should be finished. Okay, so what I want to study is how Gen AI tools such as ChatGPT influence student performance in online education platforms, because then I can provide educators and edtech developers as well insights regarding the effectiveness of AI-driven personalized learning.
Mhm.
And so far, what the literature says is that it has provided insights on adaptive learning, algorithms, and AI's ability to tailor content based on student needs. But there's still a lack of in the knowledge,
Mhm.
and for example, the long-term impact of these tools are not. There's not a lot of knowledge about that yet, and it's crucial to address this gap because it can help improve the accessibility and the quality of the education globally, and that's of course what we want to have the best education possible.
For sure.
Um, and I relied on the education of psychology and the human computer interaction theories to formulate the following research question, and that is the challenges that come with the rise of students using Gen AI tools in online learning environments. So that's that.
Well, I think a lot of
We did.
information to think about. Good first call. It's important for us. I will close the recording in a bit, and then we have to. So there's a quiz assignment, but we will chat about it on how we're gonna do that because we had to make the notes, but we've wrote down some stuff already. And
Yeah,
then for tomorrow, we both have to like change this pre-challenge. But I think it's not necessarily with the content of this peer call, but also like with the content of just last week.
yeah.
So slides, etc.
Good. So that should be good.
Yeah,
Also,
and then I will close the recording, and then this evening we will both complete the assignment of the peer thing.
yeah.
We will can do it together, but
Okay.
it doesn't have to be on the call.
Okay.
So I'll
Discussed a lot, but
yeah, it was
yeah,
whoa, heavy one.
yeah, man. But good first, I
Wait, let me
think.
check.
Two more to come.
Well, wait, one
Looking
second.
forward.